His administration will take every step to prevent the smuggling of illegal firearms into the country, which he said also inspires gangs to become more criminally active. The launch comes on the heels of the Prime Minister's recent visit to Washington, D.C., USA, where he held discussions on a number of matters.
Recently, I had the opportunity to meet with the Vice President, Kamala Harris, to discuss ways to partner with the United States government in this critical fight. I am pleased to report that we have made significant progress in our discussions and are committed to working together to prevent the flow of illegal weapons into our country. The United States is a close ally and a valuable partner in our efforts to combat crime and violence. With their help, we can enhance our ability to track and intercept illegal firearms and increase our capacity to bring those responsible to justice. Today, we celebrate the opening of the Anti-Gang Firearms Task Force Unit. This is a momentous occasion, as it represents our continued commitment to the safety and security of our citizens and to focus on intercepting and preventing the illegal trade of firearms.
The Firearm and Anti-Gang Task Force Unit will be comprised of experts from across the country's national security and law enforcement spectrum, including the police and defense forces, Bahamas Customs and Immigration Departments, and the Department of Inland Revenue, working in collaboration with global partners, the United States Embassy Nassau and its partners, the United States Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, ATF, and the United States Department of Homeland Security. Prime Minister Davis said collaboration is an essential component of success in the war on criminal activity, the illegal smuggling of weapons trade, and gang activity.
The impact of illegal weapons smuggling is significant and can be seen in the increase in violent crimes, gang activities, and overall insecurity in our communities. This is not just a problem for our law enforcement agencies, but all of us. Illegal firearms contribute to a climate of fear and uncertainty, making it difficult for our citizens to feel safe in their homes and communities. They also pose a severe threat to the safety of our police officers and other law enforcement personnel who work daily to keep us all safe. We must work together to identify and disrupt the networks that traffic these weapons into our country, and must do everything in our power to prevent them from falling into the hands of criminals.
Prime Minister Davis said the opening of the Firearms and Anti-Gang Task Force Unit represents a significant step in his administration's focus to keep citizens safe and secure, an area in which, he said, the country is making progress. It is also in line with the administration's commitment contained in the speech from the throne to ensure that the citizens of the Bahamas feel safe and secure by addressing crime and its associated ills by adopting a holistic and multifaceted approach.
The new Anti-Gang Firearms Task Force Unit is a dedicated and highly skilled team of law enforcement officials who will work tirelessly to address the proliferation of illegal firearms in our country.
Prime Minister Davis said the task force unit will be equipped with the latest technology, resources, and training to help team members track down and apprehend those persons trafficking in illegal firearms and participating in criminal and gang activities. He said members of the unit will also collaborate with other law enforcement agencies to dismantle those criminal networks while disrupting the flow of illegal weapons into Bahamian communities. For Your Government in Action, I'm Matt Mora.
Thank you for tuning in to Your Government in Action, proudly presented by Bahamas Information Services. Join us next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. where we bring you highlights, coverage, and information as we do what we do best, linking people and government.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, residents up in arms about the conditions at the Fishing Hole Road. Plus, a man hauled before the magistrate's court on charges of sexually assaulting a minor. And an update on a $250 million investment on Grand Bahama. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Simone Davis. Thank you so much for watching. Topping news tonight. It is a dusty situation at the Fishing Hole Road, and motorists are outraged that the path they are forced to traverse daily may be doing more harm than good. One vocal public service driver is demanding that repairs to the bridge connecting West Grand Bahama to Freeport be carried out immediately. He contends that the temporary road is not ideal for motorists. Our Aja Quant is on the story tonight.
Motorists driving on this road daily say the conditions are horrible. In particular, a bus driver who is calling on the powers that be to fix it immediately. The Fishing Hole Road was reopened in December of 2022 after the causeway connecting West Grand Bahama to the city of Freeport was closed for repairs. The superstructure was initially damaged by Hurricane Dorian and had to be closed for repairs. And now the bridge is temporarily closed once again following concerns from motorists about hazardous conditions. Local bus driver Harold Miller says, while they await repairs, the temporary road provided is far worse than the causeway itself.
Why can't they just pave the only thing they did with that was put some black dirt on it, smooth it off, and the first good squall of rain came, it just washed out. So right now you're looking at your front end of your vehicle is being pounded because of the situation. Since this thing happened, I've seen 2 cars where the front wheel break off in this particular area, creating a blockage within that path. Something needs to be done.
He is now calling on those in charge of repairing the bridge to act quickly. He is concerned that the state of the road may be deteriorating.
The powers that be take a step ahead and try to get things moving. You know, it's just at a standstill.
Residents are even expressing their dismay on what they call a rocky road.
This is in bad shape.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is
You
just...
feel like your car was about to give up on you?
Oh, yeah, all day.
They should fix that. It's rough.
They really need to fix the road now. You see my rims, it doesn't cost me to change my rims on my vehicle and all.
It's rough, it's dirty. Every time you clean your car get right back dirty. It cracking people's rims, they need to open the bridge back.
They need to get fixed.
Just paving is too rough, man, for my old jalopy.
They get the best engineers they can possibly find that can help with actually getting it done properly.
But there was one resident who had a different view.
It's good. I mean, if you have to wait and get it right, the best thing is to get it right. And I'm glad no accident happened that caused any death or any bother to anybody. But, you know, they find out that something went wrong, I say to them, get it right, you know. And if it takes some time to get it right, get it right.
Now, there is no definitive date as to when this causeway will be completed. However, this is a story we will continue to follow. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Aja Quant.
Thanks, Aja. Now we tried to get a comment from Troy McIntosh, Deputy Director and City Maintenance Manager at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, but our calls were not returned up to news time. Well, a Grand Bahama man accused of sexually assaulting a juvenile appearing in court today to learn his fate. The incident reportedly occurred during the early morning hours of January 30th in the Mayfield Park community. As Raven Davis tells us, the accused is facing other criminal charges as well.
That is right, Simone. Cuffed at the wrist, 31-year-old Joshua Oliver of Coral Gardens, Grenada Avenue, was escorted by officers into court number 1 before Magistrate Debbie Ferguson to answer to 1 count of sexual assault and 2 counts of burglary. He was represented by attorney Osmond Johnson. Now, the court heard that on January 30th, 2023, Oliver broke into a home on Ponce de Leon Drive with the intention of committing a felony, namely stealing. The matter was said to be strictly indictable, and he was not required to enter a plea. His bail was denied. Prosecutors also alleging that one day later, January 31st, at around 2 a.m., Oliver had unlawful sexual intercourse with a 9-year-old girl. He was not required to enter a plea to the charge in that matter. Prosecutors also informing the court that due to a recent amendment to the law, bail cannot be granted when the matter involves a child under the age of 14. Magistrate Ferguson stating that due to the egregiousness of the crime, she is not minded to grant bail. On the same date, prosecutors allege that Oliver burglarized the home of the victim's relative with the intention of committing sexual assault. Now the court will hold a hearing into all of the matters to determine if Oliver will be committed to the next available sitting in the Supreme Court here in Freeport. The adjournment date for those matters is set for April 26, 2023, until which time Oliver will be remanded. Reporting live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis. Back to you, Simone.
Thanks, Raven. Also from the court, 34-year-old Herman Major Jr. also appearing in court on a similar charge. Clad in a gray sweatsuit, Major was arraigned before Magistrate Simone Brown in court number 4, charged with rape. According to police reports, on January 30th, 2023, a 23-year-old woman was found lying in the street in the Deadman's Reef area of West Grand Bahama. The victim was reportedly catching a ride with a male known to her when she was attacked and subsequently sexually assaulted. Major was not required to enter a plea to the sexual assault charge. Now, Major was also charged with causing harm on the same date and location. Magistrate Brown informed Major that the case could be heard either in the Magistrates Court or in the Supreme Court. Major opted to have the matter heard in the Magistrates Court and subsequently pled not guilty to the charge. Now, prosecutors objected to bail on count 2 on the grounds that the victim had to be hospitalized, and if released, the defendant might tamper with the witness or prosecution. Bail was denied, and Major is expected to return to court on May 3rd. Switching gears now, a multi-million-dollar resort to be built on Grand Bahama very soon. The developers of the Six Senses Resort is making progress to begin construction on the Discovery Bay property by next year. In an interview with our ZNS News team today, Mark Weller of the Weller Development Group reveals that the Grand Bahama location will be a model for another Six Senses project to be developed in North America. Here's that report. The motivation behind the construction of a multi-million-dollar development on Grand Bahama is to rebrand the island and revitalize the economy. This is the mantra of President and CEO of the Weller Development Group, Mark Weller, who says his goal is to develop a world-class resort on this island and encourage other international investors to follow suit.
Well, I think anytime you do a project of this nature, it stands to make a large difference in the sense that it starts to create a brand influence or brand change in a place, or in this case, on an island. So we think this is an incredible spark to start a great fire that will help rejuvenate and revitalize the island.
As the Weller Development Group invests some $250 million into the new Grand Bahama Resort, the group is also developing another Six Senses location in Napa Valley, California, adding that the Grand Bahama location may be a model for the North American residences. He adds that the group is now in the process of obtaining the necessary permits to begin construction.
Well, we've been making great progress on the plans and the engineering for the hotel and the residences that will be there. We're really excited about that. We're eventually going in for our environmental permits and permission. After that, we'll finish off the plans and still plan to break ground in the first quarter of next year.
The president and CEO says now that the government is making strides toward the reconstruction of the Grand Bahama International Airport, he is confident that it will add to the success of the resort.
We're hearing great things about the airport and the progress there. We feel very comfortable. We know that the government is working very hard on bringing that to fruition. Obviously, having a new airport would be great because the first handshake with the brand of Grand Bahama would be at that beautiful new airport. And we think that's a real positive thing that can help not just our project, but the entire island.
The Weller Group was connected to Grand Bahamas Report executive Rupert Hayward, who introduced the company to the island back in 2020. Construction on the Six Senses Resort on Grand Bahama is set to begin next year, with the resort slated to open by the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026. In other news, the Advisory Committee for National Honors is inviting nominations from the general public for persons to be conferred with national honors and awards. These awards recognize persons who have achieved excellence in designated categories while contributing to national development. Nomination forms can be found on the Government of the Bahamas website at bahamas.gov.bs and the Office of the Administrator in all districts of the Family Islands. Completed nomination forms should be submitted no later than March 31st. The Governor General will announce the approved awards on July 10th, and awards will be distributed on the second Monday of October of this year. The Cabinet Office is also advising that under no circumstances should the nominee be made aware of their nomination. And when we come back, ZNS Northern Service staff worshiping together this past Sunday. We have that story, sports, and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues.
Portobello's Restaurant is the place for lovers. Valentine's weekend with Friday and Saturday night dinner and Sunday brunch. Valentine's Day tickets are on sale at the lobby. Call 373-1333. Saturday, February 11th, No Holds Bar presents the legendary Stevie S live in a Rake and Scrape concert. Gates open at 9 p.m. Entry fee is $10. That's Rake and Scrape at No Holds Bar, Settlers Way.
It's that time again. Buy your tickets now for Mr. Lucky's Big Raffle and win, win, win. Win one of two cars, a brand new 2023 Toyota, large cash prizes, a brand new PS5, and more. Enter today by going into your local Chances store and either depositing $20 or more onto your account or buying $20 or more lotto tickets. Tickets available until March 1st. Winners announced March 4th. So hurry into your local Chances store today. You gotta be in it to win it. Winners take chances. Chances remind you to game responsibly.
It is estimated that 300 million people worldwide are suffering from depression.
There's only so much we as counselors, as pastors, as parents, as friends can do.
Many of these people will consider suicide as a means of escape.
She just couldn't relate to me. She knew, like she just knew things.
The tragedy is that many of them don't want to die.
Check on your strong friends was echoing everywhere. And though I agree with the sentiment wholeheartedly, it's definitely not enough.
They simply don't know how to cope with the issues of life.
I don't know what could I have done, and I wasn't there, so I couldn't do nothing.
This is the other side of suicide.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number one news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The employees of ZNS Northern Service spending time in church this past Sunday. Executives out of Nassau joined in the worship service. Our Jolanda Thompson Everest has more.
Employees of ZNS Northern Service assembling for worship at the New Life Worship Center. It was a time of celebration as the employees came together to seek God's guidance in the year ahead. Minister Responsible Honorable Miles LaRota, Chairman Picewell Forbes, and board members joining in the worship service. In his message, host Pastor Simeon Outing advising everyone to be strong in the Lord. Pastor Outing adding that it is important to build bridges and not burn them, and urged everyone to handle bad situations with care.
In order for you to embrace God's plan for your next
You have to be strong. You have to be strong. You have to be strong. The Bible tells us, and I'm sure all of you know the story well enough, that there was the strongest man in the world. His name was Samson. Samson met a Bahamian woman. Come on, y'all work along with me. And Samson's parents told him what God told her, that if you miss and do this, this is going to happen. Can you wake your neighbor up and tell them, neighbor, choose to be strong. It will amaze you who's trying to remove your strength from you. That's why we have to be so careful who we surround ourselves with.
Pastor Outing also sending a special message to men to be strong in tough times.
How do we know when we are weak? When we deal with things in an unprofessional way. We push God aside. When we go to the school and we say, where's the teacher? We cuss the teacher out. We carry a Heineken bottle and leg the teacher in our head. We fight. Don't need to fight. If God is before you, who can be against you? How do you know when you're weak? When you succumb to things that don't celebrate God. Give him praise and glory in his house.
Minister Miles DeRoda and Chairman Picewell Forbes underscoring the important role ZNS Northern Service plays in the country.
Every time I travel with ZNS, I always take something from the sermon. And the part that I took this morning was burning bridges. And I always say this every opportunity I get, to thank those members of the Northern Service for the exemplary service they provide.
The Northern Service is no less a very critical component to our broadcast construct in the Bahamas. It offers leadership, productivity, and I note the level of synergy in the North, especially at the corporation.
All my days, I've been held in your hands.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Julanda Thompson Everest.
Until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
Thank you, Julanda. And we also must say congratulations to cameraman extraordinaire Roger Russell for being selected as Employee of the Year for 2022. A well-deserved honor, Roger. And now featuring 4 dynamic speakers, the Reach Out Youth Organization will be hosting its 15th Boys to Men Youth Conference this coming Friday evening at New Life Worship Center. Under the theme, You Are God's Masterpiece, Reach Out founder Dudley Sade, host Pastor Simeon Oughton, and speaker Kenyatta Lewis aim to change the minds of troubled young men and prevent them from falling prey to crime and violence.
Sometimes we see a lot of young men falling, men who deal in drugs, men who doing all the wrong things. So we put a powerful conference together just to change the mindset.
The need is great in the city, and so I want to congratulate Mr. Sade and his team for hosting this conference at this critical time.
I had first-hand experience because I did 5 years in a Majesty's prison. And I had programs where I tried to reach out to the young men in there. And having conversations with them, we have a lot of lost young men in the prison who are going to be released back on the street. So I want to use my experiences to try to deter those that are here.
With a number of giveaways slated for the conference, courtesy of Alive, Gizmos and Gadgets, and Pizza Hut, the trio of sponsors are glad to happily assist in drawing young men to be mentored on that evening.
Important for Grand Bahama and the Bahamas in its entirety for us to give back to our young men.
It is always a pleasure to be a part of mentoring young men. So we're trying to do as much as we can by hiring some of them that Dudley and Simeon Oughton has been mentoring.
We have a few at our establishment as we speak.
We are very supportive of the Boys to Men's Conference. We believe in his vision for mentoring and encouraging young men on Grand Bahama.
The Freeport Lions Club targeting children and the elderly for their first donation this year. President of the club, Vesna Lang, says she wanted to demonstrate the club's commitment and support in a meaningful way.
I love the fact that the politicians do the backpacks, but that's still an outdated. What we need to do is really connect with our communities and find out exactly where their needs are, and that's most overlooked.
Lang noting that she wanted to get the residents some essential items that can be used during the winter months.
We purchased 200 black cardigan sweaters after I spoke with the Ministry of Education to find out exactly what color would be allowed with all the schools, and they said black. So we purchased 200 black sweaters. And then I thought about what else could we tap into? And the idea came about with the elderly home and the Rand Memorial Hospital. I wanted to keep the initiative going with keeping them warm, because we launched a Keep Warm campaign. So I said, okay, let's do blankets. And that again was approved by the board. So we purchased 100. Cashmere blankets. So we're going to distribute them amongst the elderly homes on the island, and 30 of them will go to the Rand Memorial Hospital.
7 schools were handpicked for the donation, along with all of the elderly homes on the island, as well as the Grand Bahama Health Services. Your Tuesday Check on Sports is next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to Sports. A major primary school basketball tournament expected to resume this week, but let's begin with darts. The Grand Bahama Darts Association has fielded a team to compete this weekend at the national tournament of the Bahamas Darts Federation in New Providence this weekend. The 16-member team has been actively practicing 3 times a week at the Squash Club in preparation for competition.
We're looking forward to bringing the Gold Cup home. Actually, with us, this being our first year since COVID, since 2020, this being our first year back, competing against the other islands. This year, it's so good because we have 3 new faces. So that's encouragement. 2 of them have just started this year, started the league 2022-2023 season. And once persons start, once we get them to know knowledgeable about it, that's the thing. Persons are not as knowledgeable about it, but once they get to know it, they get to love it.
We expect to bring home the bacon, as some people say. We have been waiting for this from 2020. 2020 was our last time, and we didn't appreciate what transpired. And so we're just raring to go. We have been practicing what we call finishes, right? Working on that, because there are times where you get your darts all the way down to the finish and you can't finish, you choke. So we've been practicing on that every single time that we meet here. So the guys right now, they're like 1 dart finish, 2 dart finishes, and hey, it's been awesome.
It's mainly finishing, closing, because anybody can throw a big number. It comes to hitting the double to close out the game.
Next in sports, the Gladstone Moan McPhee Cecil Thompson Primary School Basketball Tournament gets underway this week.
Grand Key will be coming out for the first time. Powerful little school. And we are expecting a great crowd. We'd like for the parents to come out and support their kids.
Dudley says he's happy to once again lend his support behind this tournament.
We've been a sponsor for the past 10 years. Normally when they have the tournament, the young kids come to the conference. Basketball is a part of what my organization is. So I'm happy today to continue making a small donation.
Teams set to compete include Freedom Baptist, Telehose, Temple Christian, Grand Key, St. Francis and Joseph, Maurice Moore, Freeport Primary, Hugh Campbell, and Holmes Rock. Games will be played at the 8 Mile Rock Gym, St. George's Gymnasium, and the YMCA. And finally, in sports, redshirt junior forward Ahmad Harvey, now playing at High Point University, had perhaps his best game of the season in his last outing. The 6'7" former St. George's Jaguar forward poured in a double-double of 11 points, 10 rebounds in an 89-63 loss to UNC Asheville. And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Saturday, February 11th, Esquire Men's Freeport invites you to our shopping event, Chocolates and Champagne. Come and shop, wine, and dine with your favorite folks at Esquire Men's Freeport. Saturday, February 11th, from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Esquire Men's Freeport. Chocolates and Champagne. Happy Valentine's Day.
Ice the coconut got this, cocoa skin driven madness, juiciness ice the this, sweet like a sugar in a dripping like ice honey, addict, all of my love me, sweet like a sugar in a watch it go ba ba ba, 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 sweet like a sugar in a
new Click Platinum flavor, flavored beers with a kick of rum. Make it platinum.
Athletes across the northern Bahamas inspire us with their performances on and off the field. ZNS is proud to honor these competitors with our Athlete of the Month award. We will select an athlete whose story and accomplishments represents the best in their sporting discipline. Tune in to find out who will be the Athlete of the Month. Will an athlete be you?
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Our Facebook friend of the day is Devon Grant, and he is celebrating his birthday today. We say happy birthday, Devon, and thank you for your loyal support. And we also want to say happy birthday to Flora Hinsey in Cat Key. We hope you are enjoying this day. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team, I'm Simone Davis, but be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, January's staggering repatriation bill. NIB salaries defended. GLAD results under review. And in sports, BAISS championships underway. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is linked up by BTC. Whether it's chatting, gaming, content creating, or working smart to get things done, link up to stay connected with BTC.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. All things considered, the relationship between the Bahamas and Haiti could very well be strained, but not so, according to one local pastor with close ties to the strife-torn island nation. And he attributes this to the compassion and assistance shown locally.
Our prayer is always that Haiti will get its act together.
Dr. Antoine St. Louis' prayer is that of the entire region. After all, it's seen as the fix-it-all to that country's illegal immigration that neighboring countries like the Bahamas has for years wrestled, but to no avail. By the boatloads, Haitian migrants continue to board unseaworthy vessels, risking life and limb for life anywhere but home.
Haiti problem is, like I have been said over the years, is much more than just political. I believe it is mostly spiritual, and it is a spiritual problem, it is a social problem, it is a political problem, it is a financial problem. You have all of those coming together. When you have these young men, these young ladies finish universities, finish college, they cannot find a job. That creates the problem. You have the instability of government. where these men and women who are elected, they really don't see the nation. They see themselves. Because the land is not the problem. And as we all know, there are many things in Haiti that can bring revenues, but there's always bad governance. And also, the problem is always also with the rich folks. You know, they trying to stop everything from going so they can get richer.
Truth is, illegal migration from Haiti is nothing new. Still, in recent months, the situation's mushroomed to troubling proportions and at rising costs to taxpayers. And for those on the deadly voyages, a loss of thousands of dollars to their wallets. Behind it all, the unsavory characters St. Louis unashamedly calls crooks.
They should be charged as criminals. And that's my take on it. They should be charged as criminals, give them a heavy fine that will send a message to the others. Listen, if we get caught, this is what will happen. Because they don't care. They get their money. Whatever happened. And so they spend a year, 2 years, and they get caught in jail, and then they just enjoy the money. But they are destroying lives. They are destroying Haiti. And also they are destroying the Bahamas and wherever they taking these people, because they're just making it worse and worse and worse for the Haitian people and for the relationship with Haiti and other countries.
If all goes as planned, Haitians will cast their vote sometime this year. Hope floats that things will all work out.
We continue to pray that someone will have a heart for Haiti. Whoever is elected will have a heart for Haiti, where their focus will not be that I am the president, I'm just seeking to be a member of parliament, to be a senator, to be the president, but they will see what can we do to better Haiti.
Well, heads of government across the region share similar sentiments for peace in Haiti. Regional leaders have for years been trying to come up with a blueprint to resolve this issue, and they hope to generate some successful ideas at this year's CARICOM meeting. Altovise Munnings joins us in studio with some of Haiti's issues regional leaders may address next week. Good evening, Altovise.
Good evening, Makushla, and good evening, Bahamas. Haiti became a member of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, in July 2002. And since political unrest has dominated life there for perhaps as long as some can remember, getting to stability has been a recurring fixture on the CARICOM heads of government's agenda. And the upcoming one is no exception. CARICOM recently acknowledged the efforts made by various Haitian stakeholders to negotiate political accords since 2021 to contribute to resolving the protracted political stalemate. Now, this includes the latest agreement made public by Haiti's interim prime minister last December. In a release, CARICOM urged all stakeholders to formalize a consensus agreement as the community remains willing and ready to assist in achieving this goal. With that in mind, CARICOM officials have listened to Haitian stakeholders who expressed a desire to attend a meeting in a CARICOM country. However, not only is CARICOM working to restore normalcy in Haiti, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights will be there on Wednesday at the invitation of the Haitian government that reports the state is under severe pressure from opposition parties to demit office, as well as hold fresh elections following the July 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. Meantime, Britain's The Guardian newspaper is referencing UNICEF statements that an escalation of gang violence, political instability, and a deadly cholera outbreak in Haiti has left half its children relying on humanitarian aid to survive. An estimated 2.6 million are reportedly expected to need immediate life-saving assistance this year, as the overlapping crisis leaves Haiti's children in the worst position since the 2010 earthquake. It's even more contention for regional leaders to grapple with. Reporting in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altovise Munnings. Back to you, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Altovise. Still on Haiti. You may recall the government's recent decision to impose stricter policies on the granting of work permits to tighten the grip of irregular migration. Well, our Carla Palmer today took to the streets to garner the views of the people.
While local residents are expressing mixed reactions to the illegal migration situation here in the country and to see the influx of more and more primarily Haitian nationals come by the boatloads, they all agree that more must be done to change the tidal flow. While they give the government thumbs up on its latest measures, including suspending new work permits, these residents are suggesting the government remain steadfast in its enforcement efforts.
I know that the time for talking is over. We definitely have to start putting something in place for average Bahamians to be able to get through it. It's got to a point where it's a crisis, and so we have to definitely deal with it.
We really need to enforce our laws. That's number one. And wherever the chip fall, let them go, because it's such a big burden right now on us. As you could see, I'm trying to get some stuff to go to the island and so forth, and every time I turn around, it's a problem.
They got to forget about how they personally feel and go out there and clean up the country. I don't have a solution, but the people who we put in power should have the solution to take care of the illegal migration, because it's getting out of hand.
Some residents were empathetic to the plight of illegal migrants, especially Haitian nationals, who risk their lives on the high seas, fleeing their homeland for whatever reason. They still maintain that the burden is too much to bear for our small island nation.
I know they all are human, first of all, and then you don't want to just send them back like that, you know. But we can't take them because this place is already full.
Really strange. You find them, we send them back, and they still come. So I've heard of a situation where somebody that was on one of the boats had papers to come here. The question in my mind is, why was he on that boat?
Well, I see the government now are trying to get rid of the shanty town, so that's a start, right? Now, in terms of have they been diligent all this time? I mean, it's more than one administration. They've allowed this to go on for so long. Now it's reached its peak and they can't control it. So what do you do? What do you do? Say we start with the criminals. The ones that go to jail. When we go to jail in the U.S., we get deported, right? So when they go to jail here, let's deport them too, huh?
It is what it is, and you know, it's a matter that we have to deal with. And then Bahamians, of course, are first. I mean, that's what it is.
These residents say they are looking forward to the CARICOM conference in the country next week in hopes that regional leaders come up with a solution to this ongoing problem of illegal migration. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Now, we can also tell you that repatriation flights racked up a bill of over $68,000 last month alone, with nearly 600 irregular migrants returned to their homeland, according to Immigration Minister, the Honorable Keith Bell.
2022, repatriation flights cost us $1,506,077.10. Thus far for 2023, 570 persons were repatriated to their homelands during the month of January, the majority of whom were Cuba and Haiti. That is, 167 Cubans and 368 Haitian nationals. And this was done at a cost, Madam Speaker, of $68,768.17. The cost of meals, Madam Speaker, for irregular migrants is presently $30 per day. Other subsidiary costs for accommodating irregular migrants include health care supplies, clothing, cleaning supplies, laundry services. Operating the detention center is a major undertaking. Nonetheless, the Department of Immigration continues to fulfill its mandate.
Well, security concerns amid widespread gang violence and continued volatility on the ground in Haiti, prompting officials at the national flag carrier to suspend services to Haiti's capital for the time being. Bahamas Air service into the profitable Port-au-Prince market was suspended on January 28th, with the airline continuing service in Cap-Haitien. Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, speaks to the rationale.
You may recall that recently the Foreign Affairs Ministry withdrew our personnel from Haiti. It stemmed from similar concerns, and that is the sole reason why Bahamas Air has suspended its flight to Haiti. You may or may not know that this is a very profitable route for Bahamas Air, but Bahamas Air has determined that its personnel and its equipment is of great value, and therefore they have determined until things are settled, they will not return.
A former Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for Killarney, the Most Honourable Dr. Hubert Minnis, has his own take on why Bahamas Air suspended flights to Port-au-Prince. Speaking during the House of Assembly's evening session Monday, Mr. Minnis charged that millions of dollars from Bahamas Air have gone missing or have been stolen in Haiti.
Brave Davis tax and the Brave Davis inflation are squeezing every red cent out of the Bahamian populace, while millions of dollars have disappeared from Bahamas Air by travel agents in Haiti, travel agents and baggage handlers. Millions of Bahamian taxpayers' money has disappeared and they have remained quiet. Where has the money gone? While money has disappeared, we, the taxpayers, must pay.
Well, as you heard, the Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation has since shot down such claims, suggesting that Minnis was simply seeking headlines.
I am advised that the former Prime Minister, Minnis, made some assertions that there was money missing in Haiti. This comment was most irresponsible. There is no missing money. There is an ongoing reconciliation matter. The amount is in the range of $500,000. The former Prime Minister indicated that it was millions of dollars missing. If he knows where the millions are, we'd be happy to recover it. But Bahamas Air has indicated that the amount in question is in the region of $500,000. It's a reconciliation matter. The matter is sitting on an account in Haiti, and they expect that it will be fully recovered by the end of this week.
Meantime, National Security Minister, the Honourable Wayne Munro, seeking to clear up Dr. Minnis's assertion the response to death threats against Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis has been an overkill. Munro, addressing the issue ahead of Tuesday's cabinet meeting, stressed that police investigate death threats against anyone.
There's a branch of the police who is concerned with the personal security of the Prime Minister, and no doubt they will take into account what is a threat level and adjust sufficiently. The Prime Minister made it clear that he's carrying on with business as usual, so I'm not quite sure what the former Prime Minister is talking about. The police will investigate all complaints of crime.
Munro says he's not seeing anything beyond vigilance by officers, adding that there are too many threats and crime in the country as a whole. He insists people need to learn how to resolve disputes, as threats or even murder are not an acceptable response. As Munro tells it, last week's protests against immigration led to police making changes at the House of Assembly.
They were being very tolerant, as you, the press, could see. People were permitted right up to the door of Parliament. They abused the privilege, and so now the police have to react to what is there. And that should be a sign to people. Simply because you're given a privilege, you should be careful not to abuse it. And so if you react in a fashion that causes persons who are charged with persons' safety, and in the case of Parliament, parliamentarians ought to have unimpeded access to Parliament. You had a privilege to be right up to the door of Parliament. You abused it by doing foolishness. And so if the police who are charged with making sure that parliamentarians have unimpeded access to Parliament react in a particular way, it will be because of what you have done.
From the overnight crime beat, a public appeal for help identifying the man shot and killed at the South Beach ramp Sunday evening. Police revealing that the victim, a light-skinned male believed to be in his early 20s, was at the time wearing a white t-shirt and black sweats. He had multiple gunshot wounds to the body. Anyone who's not seen or heard from a family member or friend within the past 48 hours is encouraged to call the Criminal Investigations Department at 502-9991 or 2. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. More news in a moment.
From the youngest among us to the oldest gems, heart disease has touched many lives. And while cardiologists are doing their best to ensure these victims remain alive, nonprofit organizations are also doing their part, drumming up funding to secure the best treatment possible. Join me, LaDon Davis, this month every Friday for Chambers of the Heart.
Portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
We are a leading Bahamian bank, one of the largest publicly traded companies on BISX. Our measure of strength is our growth and performance, with over $1.7 billion in assets. We remain committed to serving the interests of our shareholders, staff, clients, and communities. The confidence to lead, the performance to remain. We are Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Our lives are full of action. Hey, babe.
From the studio to the video to back home.
All while balancing family life.
BTC Fiber Internet is our solution.
BTC is best for us. Hello?
With fiber, we save more on fast, reliable internet. And we can prove it.
Go to BTC's website and compare for yourself.
Select your current product, price, and location.
You'll see how much you can save with BTC.
Link up with better value.
Link up with BTC.
Just when Leo was about to buy this useless pair of Hands underwear, he remembered that it was Tuesday. Hungry for deals? You better come satisfy it at KFC before doing something crazy. Crazy Tuesdays! 5 juicy, mouth-watering pieces of world-famous KFC chicken, handmade with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices for only $10. Crazy Tuesdays! A finger-licking good deal.
You can find it all at Builders Mall. From cement, lumber, block, plumbing, and electrical, to paint, lights, vanities, and tiles. Not to mention all the tools you could possibly need to get the job done. Say if you're starting a major project, adding the finishing touches, or just doing some repair or rental work around the house. FYP, the Paint Center, and Tile King can help. Stop by or call 601-8453. Located 69 Wolf Road, Nassau. You can find it all at Builders Mall. Building, painting, and tiling, the Bahamas.
In light of recent criticism, Bahamas Power and Light officials are clarifying the company's fuel hedging strategy, the program that stabilizes its overall fuel cost. Approximately 65% of BPL's fuel used for power generation is hedged, and the power provider is in the process of implementing a new agreement for an additional 15% of its acquired fuel. Now, negotiating a new fuel hedging contract is said to be a good move for BPL, as officials there note that Brent crude oil, the fuel that is hedged, currently trades at approximately $90 per barrel, with projections of further declines. Compare that to its $120 per barrel price during the initial hedging agreement signed last year, which the company brands as bad timing and not fiscally prudent. Well, 2022's third quarter stats show that the number of new construction permits issued were higher compared to the same period in 2021. However, the value of permits decreased from $167 million in 2021 to $135 million a year later. Now, officials point to a 59% drop in the commercial industrial sector as the main reason for the decrease, mitigated by increases in the private residential sector of $11 million and the public sector of $4 million. Now, by island, New Providence represented 76% of the value of 2022's third quarter permits, Grand Bahama 20%, and the remaining family islands 4%. Meantime, the number of new construction starts decreased by 17 compared to 2021's third quarter of 150 and third quarter 2022 of 133. Minister with responsibility for the National Insurance Board, the Honorable Miles LaRota, is defending the average $64,000 income of NIB staffers. This after a recent IDB study called NIB's compensation structure bloated, citing that it appears high given the annual pay and benefits packages staff take home is $1,000 less than the Auditor General's, and their income is $10,000 higher than a leading high school head teacher. Now, the study says administrative costs are 19% of the agency's annual benefits expenditure, nearly 2 times that of Barbados's national insurance scheme, and 4 times higher than Trinidad and Tobago's, pegged at around 5%. LaRota suggests the report highlighted a single department, likely representing the Public Managers Union.
That would make the most sense. The executives, of which there are 12, the average salary is around $90,000. And then you have the managers below that. There's 165 individuals in that category, and the average salary is around $58,000. The 460 plus non-management staff is around $32,000. And so for a staff complement of around just probably south of 650 staff members, it's around 39,000. You could round off to say 40,000, the average staff member's salary at the National Insurance Board.
The IDB study suggests previous generous industrial agreements have contributed to inflating the salaries and NIB's administrative cost. Considering the differences between the Bahamas and its Caribbean counterparts, Barbados and Trinidad, LaRota says sometimes you just need to consider the layout of the countries.
Barbados is one landmass. Now imagine the Bahamas, of which we have 19 islands. Imagine having staff for National Insurance in Nassau, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthero, Inagua, Mayaguana. There's a lot of replications going on. And so you would need more staff members because you need somebody to be in charge of the office. And so it's easy to just go and pluck out and not comparing apples to apples and just comparing apples and oranges. The Bahamas is a unique place. We are an archipelago. And so we have to, the numbers in terms of management or supervisors will be higher because we have staff in each one of our islands that provides a service to that community.
Well, since 1988, Bank of the Bahamas has been a leader in the local banking industry, and its 12th branch opening on John F. Kennedy Drive is a testament to just that. The bank's chairman, Donna Harding Lee, says they're encouraged by recent positive developments in the country's economy and the banking sector across the board.
The bank has seen an upswing in business, be it account openings, mortgages, loans, credit cards, or other services that the bank offers. Bank of the Bahamas will celebrate 35 years of existence this October, and we are proud to be in business. Yes, there have been challenges and continue to be challenges, but that makes us more determined to succeed.
Well, in his remarks, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis reminisced on his life growing up in Cat Island and how the bank has assisted not only his family.
As a boy growing up in Old Bight, Cat Island, I know firsthand what it feels like to be estranged from the economic architecture of the nation. Bank of the Bahamas has long recognized the need to serve the widest cross-section of our nation possible. A fact evidenced by their establishing a Cat Island branch in 2008. A fact further evidenced by its presence in Bimini, Grand Bahama, Eleuthero, Inagua, and San Salvador. Yes, I am proud to say that the Bank of the Bahamas has taken a leadership role in addressing the need for greater access to quality financial services in our family of islands.
Well, still on finance, FTX is apparently asking for the $90 million donated to political causes by company employees to be returned. The specific date, February 28th. Yahoo Finance is reporting that officials of the bankrupt crypto exchange have been contacting anyone who received payments made by Sam Bankman-Fried, other FTX executives, or any of the affiliated companies that have filed for bankruptcy. Bankman-Fried previously donated $40 million to Democratic causes, making him the party's second largest donor ahead of the 2022 midterm elections. Reports are that he donated just as much to Republican causes. Former CEO of FTX's Bahamas company, Ryan Salami, donated $23 million, making him the 15th top donor in the United States. And according to CoinDesk, just 5 of the 196 politicians who received money from FTX said they had successfully returned it. Well-known politicians Nancy Pelosi and John Fetterman were among the donor recipients who had not yet returned funds as of mid-January. FTX added that if the payments are returned by February 28th, the politicians could be taken to the bankruptcy court with interest added. Well, now time for the weekly poll question, and this week we're asking, do you believe capital punishment is a deterrent to crime? Yes or no? To participate, simply log on to our website, and that's www.ZNSBahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. The poll's final results will be aired on Friday. And as always, thanks for participating. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight. The National Report returns in a moment.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, if it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. If it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
After a year of gathering interviews and footage, producers of the documentary See How the Maine Sails Sets premiered the 90-minute film at a special viewing at Fusion Superplex recently. Minister, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, who has responsibility for regattas, says he's proud of the production.
For us as a ministry, especially during our 50th year, we looked at how does regattas and sailing encapsulate all who we are as a people, whether it's through sports or through the culture or through the land activities. And what's so exciting about this is we were able to travel throughout the Bahamas. The team did a wonderful job to ensure that they captured the essence of what sailing and regattas mean, not just to the sailors who experience sailing, but also to the people on the ground and the people throughout the Family Islands.
The documentary is a masterpiece created by the highly acclaimed and award-winning filmmaker Charlie Smith, a.k.a. Charlie Bahama, and executive producers Fred Munnings, Nader Hassan, and National Family Island Regatta Commodore Danny Strawn.
The regatta started in 1954, and there's not been any kind of documentary or historical perspective of what the regatta is all about. So what we're doing is we're cataloging the history of the regatta from 1954 to today. So that is really historical from the standpoint, and that's why we wanted to make this documentary.
This was really a collaboration and a labor of love, because everybody was there. You know, and as you know, even with sailing, regatta sailing and everything, it ain't about the money, right? It's almost like John Canoe. You don't make no money, right? It's about the love.
One of the most important things that we wanted to achieve with this documentary is to record the history of the regatta. But in addition to that, this is also would reflect the evolution and the development of the Family Islands. I'm sure that every Bahamian knows that throughout the years, these workboats were used to connect the islands, whether it was for communication purposes, distribution of food, back and forth, people transporting back and forth from one settlement to the next, and or from one island to the next. So in addition to just a regatta film, this is really a film over the last 60 years of the development of the people of the Bahamas, particularly in the Family Island.
Producers are planning to release the film to local media houses in a 2-part series and submit the film internationally to several film festivals. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Kendia Smith.
Worried about losing your furniture to costly termite damage? You need Rentokil Initials Drop and Go Furniture Fumigation, the only service like it in the Bahamas. Simply drop your furniture at a fumigation container located at 5th Terrace, Centerville, and collect your termite-free piece within days. Sealed with our termite-free guarantee. Fast, convenient, affordable. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name: Rentokil Initial.
Global Learning Exchange can help make your education dreams a reality. Enroll now and your first course is complimentary. Sign up for a free information session today to learn more.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Rejuvenate, refresh, treat yourself. Immerse yourself in total comfort. Pamper yourself. After all, you're worth it. Relax. Rid yourself of all life's stresses. At Baja Retreat Anti-Aging Spa, you will find everything you need to enhance your body and spirit. Call today at 323-6711 and begin your journey to serenity at Baja Retreat Anti-Aging Spa.
A review of the grade level assessment test, or GLAT results, is underway. Education Minister, the Honorable Glenys Hanna Martin, revealed in the House of Assembly last evening the assessment exams are taken by students in grades 3 and 6.
We are analyzing them to see what it is telling us about our children. And one of the things we're looking at, and I don't want to talk too much about it, is that because we don't have universal pre-primary in this country, not yet, we are looking at how we can cause for grade 1 to be more facilitative of students entering the classroom for the first time. And that is, as a result of that, we are going to review the curriculum for the students in the early years to see how we can ensure they get the fundamentals, which is English and mathematics, what they call the core subjects.
Education officials are also continuing to review the curriculum in the public school system to ensure it's more comprehensive and meets the needs of students.
To ensure that it reflects not just academic subjects, but it includes technical and vocational subjects, but also that it emphasizes how we look at our nation, how we look at ourselves, how we look at each other, and so that we are able to ensure we breed healthy citizens who within the country itself.
Still on education this evening, more than 100 students from D.W. Davis Junior High were recognized for their stellar academic performance during the Christmas term 2022. The special honors ceremony taking place in Royal Country this morning. 62 students made the honor roll, 7 on the principal's list, and 52 walked away with honorable mentions. Member of Parliament for Centerville, the Honorable Jomo Campbell, congratulated the students for their achievements and, by the same token, applauded teachers and administrators for their efforts to ensure the students get good grades, and this despite the virtual learning platform during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I don't think we will ever know the extent of what it took for you to make that tremendous turnaround after those 2 years of COVID and to come to where we are today. All of these lovely students with medals and certificates in their possession is a direct result of the time, energy, and effort that you all have poured into them. And another thing that is remarkable is the extreme and the tremendous support I see here today from the parents.
Well, nowadays, it's safe to say the internet can sometimes do more harm than good. Lessons students from across the capital today learned during a panel discussion hosted by BTC at Fusion Superplex. Here's Antoinette Smith.
Just how much damage can 140 characters do? Truth is, a lot more than we think.
Every time, I go home, what's up status, someone always arguing here and there, and they're saying, oh, when I see you, this can happen, that's going to happen. And I think that's the main reason why we have so much conflict going on today in society.
Conflict that trickles from behind those phones, tablets, and laptop screens and manifests itself into our daily lives. Among those most impacted, teens, who according to Pew Research are among the largest group of internet users.
When I say everything, threats of death, persons being bullied over the internet, persons sometimes lost their lives. We had persons who, identity theft. We've had persons and teenagers who were innocently lured by persons who they thought were their peers.
Is why the officials at the Bahamas Telecommunications Company hosted a Teen Talk session in honor of this year's Safer Internet Day, a candid sit-down which seeks to bring the ill and sometimes deadly consequences of unsafe internet usage to light.
We know over the last 2 years, the internet and use of the internet and online applications, etc., has become even more important post-pandemic. And so one of the things that we want to teach the kids is how to be safe on the internet, how to use safe practices, what to post and what not to post. As you know, there's a lot of bullying on the internet, a lot of things that people post on social media, they stay there forever. The other day my kid said he's going to Google me. I didn't know what that was, but sure enough, almost every article or posting that I've ever had showed up on the internet. So one of the things here today is to teach the kids that what you put out there on social media, what you put on the internet, it stays there forever.
A message sent, received, and forwarded.
There's a person behind every single screen using social media, so we really have to be careful what we say, how we say things, and to make sure that we actually mean what we say, because sometimes we get lost inside social media and drama. But I believe if we just remember that it's a person, a person with emotions behind the screen, then we'll just be better.
So with that, think twice before you swipe, text, or post. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Antoinette Smith.
Send them in. The Advisory Committee for National Honors is inviting the public to submit nominations for national honors and awards. The awards recognize those who've achieved excellence in designated categories while contributing to national development. Nomination forms may be obtained from the Cabinet Office here in the New Providence, the Administrator's Office in the Family Islands, and via the Government to the Bahamas website, www.bahamas.gov.bs. Now, completed nominations forms may be submitted to the Secretary of the National Honors Secretariat, Cabinet Office, no later than March 31st. The Governor General will announce the approved awards on July 10th, and awards will be conferred on the second Monday of October this year. The Cabinet Office advises that under no circumstances should the nominee be made aware of their nomination. Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
That work? Can you see me?
Yeah, it's working. This is super cool. Are you gonna help me clean up your toys?
Be right there.
Hello? Am I gonna get it or are you gonna get it? I'll get it. I'll get it. Hey, thank you. Come on.
Hey, can I help you? Hey.
No, sorry, I'm not home. I'm coming.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
BTC and call it one and done. Link up with BTC and call it one and done.
I'm Corbell Piper. This past Saturday, January 28th, marked the hugely anticipated return of the Red Cross Ball. It's one of the country's premier fundraisers. Glamour met glitz at the gala, where pure elegance was on display. The annual event raises money to aid the Red Cross in its many humanitarian efforts. And so once again, with the beautiful Imperial Ballroom at the Atlantis Resort as our staging ground, and BTC as the event's platinum sponsor, we all showed up to ball out.
The excitement is brewing in this room right now. This is 6 months of planning. We're expecting great entertainment. I mean, top of the line entertainment. As you can hear playing in the background is the famous Defense Force Pop Brand, providing cocktail music for our patrons tonight. And then we go into the ballroom and we have the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band, and that band will provide dinner music. We will have the VIP band led by lead singer Mr. Wilfred Mullings, and we have a guest artist tonight, Miss Fran Sean. People are going to mix and mingle. They're going to cut a movie in here tonight with lights, camera, and action. We are ready.
Well, my wife and I are here, and I'm happy that we're able to mingle with other board members and the other management team. I think it's definitely important for the management of BTC to participate in these sessions. That's the way you get known in the community, and by getting known, it makes it even more profitable for BTC. And I'm happy when the opportunity was brought to my attention, that I brought it to the attention of our chair lady, and she was very excited about us doing it. And in fact, they're even more excited about us, looking forward to doing the 50th anniversary next year, which will be even a grander occasion.
Nothing beats a night of getting glammed up for a good cause. So if you missed this year's magic, be sure to mark the calendar for next year's Red Cross Ball. Remember, these are still the moments that move us. I'm Corbell Piper. Be well and be back here. Next, BTC Connection.
Link up with BTC and call it one and done. Link up with BTC and call it one and done.
Members of Mount Royal Lodge number 20 in Georgetown, Exuma held their first charity exercise this year. The group cleaned up Georgetown all the way to the fish fry. They were joined by their female counterparts and even youngsters who encouraged adults to stop littering. The ultimate goal is to always keep their community clean.
Give back, clean up Exuma as much as possible. So we just want to say we want to continue to do the good work of Exuma and ask people to come out and lend a helping hand.
We started in Georgetown. We came all the way down to the fish fry, and I think this is it for today.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. We have just a few clouds this evening outside of our studios. The temperature at 73 degrees. Relative humidity 61%. We have easterly winds at 18 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,023.5 millibars. That's 30.22 inches, and the pressure is falling. Temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 73 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Greenville, Key, and Marshall, Barbacoa, the Berry Island, 75. Also, Alice Bimini, 75 degrees, 76 in Harbor Island. Rock Sandy, Luttrell, 75 degrees. Black Point, Exuma, and Kemps Bay, South Andros at 76. 77 in Fresh Creek, Central Andros. Alderstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, 75 degrees. Georgetown, Exuma, 77. 77 is also in Ragged Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, and the Acklands. Matchetown and Nagua, 79 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Island at 79 degrees as well. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the Northwestern Islands tonight through tomorrow, the winds, they're going to be easterly at 12 to 18 knots, the wave height 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop. So caution flags are in place for the Northwest Bahamas through Wednesday. High tide will occur at 9:05 tonight with another high tide at 9:20 tomorrow morning. Now for the Central and Southeastern Islands through Wednesday, easterly winds at 15 to 25 knots, very rough sea conditions 5 to 8 feet over the ocean, so we have an advisory in place for small craft in the central and southeastern atlas. And then on Thursday, in the northwestern central parts of our country, we will see those winds that are becoming easterly at 15 to 25 knots, wave heights 5 to 8 feet. The high tide at 9:54 in the morning, low tide at 4:15 in the afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas, easterly at 15 knots, wave heights 5 to 8 feet. Advisory is also in place for the southeast Bahamas. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
Planet Bahamas says, let the home enhancement continue. They are kicking off the new year with 15% off all granite and quartz countertops for the entire month of January at all locations: Nassau, Freeport, Abaco, and Eleuthera. Come visit our showroom at Sandy Port Cable Beach and choose your granite or quartz countertop at 15% off all month long, only at Planet Bahamas. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Make your company representative stand out through an embroidery design on your uniforms from Janae's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road. Janae's utilizes the latest state-of-the-art embroidery technology to monogram large and small quantities of shirts, caps, bags, and other articles. If you don't already have a digitized logo, Janae's can design and digitize your idea and bring it to life. Then install the logo of your choice from their large selections of 27 stock colors of golf shirts in cotton or dry fit, caps, or workwear. Call 394-8385 or 6 or visit www.janaes.com.
This is ZNS Total Sports. Well, welcome to your Tuesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. The BAISS Basketball Championship Series got underway yesterday at the Kendall Geologics Gymnasium. 8 teams vying for the top prize in private school basketball. The energy in the gym was certainly electric. To the hardwood, opening things up would be the junior girls game between the St. Augustine's Big Red Machine and the undefeated Kingsway Saints. For Kingsway, they undoubtedly would face their toughest test of the season. The game was back and forth throughout, but SAC appeared to take control in the fourth, particularly late down the stretch. However, the Saints continued to battle. Down by 3, Andika Curtis drove through a couple defenders and dropped in a layup to pull the Saints within 1. After a defensive stop, Curtis once again drove to the basket and hit another shot to give the Saints a 34-33 lead. This would turn out to be the final score of the game. She would finish with a game-high 20 points, and the Saints would take a 1-zip series lead.
Yet again, we started out slow. I don't know if it's the gym, I don't know if it's the crowd, but we still going to be starting out slow. It was a tough game, but I'm glad it's our first test of the year we put through, so that was a plus.
Action tough test. Just tell me a bit about the resolve of your team to, not falter. Just don't come up with the victory.
Yeah, it was tough. You see, the point guard had an ankle injury, shooting guard had an elbow injury, but they pushed through and we was able to come through with the win.
In the junior boys game, it would be the Dirty Birds, the Jordan Prince William Falcons, on a quest for their 4th straight BAISS junior boys crown, taking on a very game St. Augustine's college squad who would be out to dethrone the defending champs. That thought would be short-lived, however, as the Falcons would go on a 13-0 blitz in the second quarter to separate themselves and never look back. Led by their stifling pressure defense in a game like 20 points from Michael Munnings, the Falcons were taking controlling 1-zip series lead with a 52-38 win.
Feel accomplished, but we could do more because we got one more to go. It isn't finished yet.
Tell me a bit about your team's defense. It seems that you guys, your trap was kind of working, causing a lot of turnovers and leading to easy buckets.
I want to give a shout out to coach for our defense. It's a really light defense, but people in the box ain't getting back like where they're supposed to be, and I think we could work on that more better.
Over to the senior girls, where Sac again would be competing, this time against the St. John's Green Giants. This one would to be a rout. Sac would get out the gates and dominate from the tip, paced by 19 points from junior national team standout Antonisha Moultrie. Sac would roll to an easy victory, 49-16. St. John's would be led by 5 apiece from Rihanna Green and LeBronique Demerit.
They executed pretty well. Right now, I have a very good team, but what I'm still trying to do, I'm always working on development. So every now and then, instead of, if we don't have an open shot, what I want them to do is to pull the ball out and help the other teammates to get more involved in the game.
And finally, in the nightcap, over in the senior boys game, would be the Jordan Prince William Falcons yet again taking on the top-seeded CW Saunders Cougars. This one would be an epic clash going back and forth throughout, but the Falcons would take command in the third, building a double-digit cushion. But the Cougars, they would not go down without a fight, would rally behind 23 points from Ramon Woods to walk away with a 65-57 win and 1-zip series lead. Action resumes in all the championship series on Wednesday. In college basketball news, once Ole Miss snagged the lead in the first quarter, there was no looking back as the Lady Rebels went on to hold their 7th opponent under 50 points this season to defeat Florida 68-42 from the SJP Pavilion on Sunday. Coach Willette Maxey-McCuin and her Lady Rebs are 19-5 on the season in a 26-point win, the largest victory over the Gators in the series history.
Well, when we were at Tennessee, they asked us the same thing, because we held Tennessee to its second lowest percentage all year. And I'm like, that's what we do. We defend. We've held Utah, Oklahoma, high-powered offenses, Arkansas. We're not afraid of high-power offenses. If you look at our schedule in the non-conference, we intentionally played 2 teams. One averaged at the time 100 and one averaged 95, and we held them in the 60s. So we defend. Now, we may not make a layup, and we may have some empty possessions on offense, but we're going to guard, and that is who we are, and that's what we're going to always be about.
In baseball news, while he may have been named an All-Star last season, Bahamian baseball superstar Jazz Chisholm Jr. says he has several more individual goals he's trying to accomplish this season, and that includes bringing home the most prestigious individual award.
Yeah. Say it again. I don't expect less out of myself, so I wouldn't tell you all to.
What are your expectations for Miami?
I mean, honestly, with me, Sandy, and I've been, not gonna lie, I've been at the stadium every single day that I'm in Miami. I'm at the stadium, and I see Abigail Garcia working out and Jorge Soler working out, and other guys just coming in more and more, that they see all of us are in the gym every day working out. And bro, like, honestly, we might be underrated, but we might be coming with some fire when we come in. I'm not gonna lie. They might come in thinking we just gonna blow by, and they might only be looking at one bat in that lineup, but we got a couple sticks coming through.
To the track, Devin Charlton posted a season's best of 7.87 seconds to win the women's 60-meter hurdles after she led the race from start to finish at the New Balance meet in Boston this weekend. Her nearest rival was American Sharinga Nelvis in 7.93 seconds. Charlton just fell short of her national indoor record of 7.81 that she posted in winning the silver medal at last year's World Indoor Championships in Belgrade, Serbia. That's when we look at your sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
Honey, everything okay?
Everything's fine.
Shop online for free in-store pickup in 2 hours or less.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, satellite picture showing that front boundary now near the extreme southeast Bahamas, and that will continue to push towards the southeast, exiting the Bahamas by tomorrow, leaving behind an area of high pressure, which will continue to generate some fresh breezes over the next several days. Tonight, we are looking at patchy clouds, very breezy, with a low temperature of 66 degrees. And then tomorrow, the winds will gradually begin to subside with lots of sunshine in the forecast. High temperature tomorrow, 79 degrees. And your extended weather forecast, beautiful weather will continue right through Friday into Saturday. Come Saturday afternoon, we'll see some clouds start to develop as a frontal system makes its way into the northwest Bahamas. The front itself will actually go through on Sunday morning, and that will usher in some cool temperatures. So Super Bowl Sunday seems as though it's going to be very chilly with temperatures in the low 60s. And then we'll have some showers return to our forecast come Monday as that front starts to back up again over the northwest Bahamas. Makishla?
So that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.